welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me, as always, got my partner in crime, BFC, Butler's Fighting Crew. And with us today, we got a very special guest in the building, former PFW star, now turned Butler Bulldog, Jalen Jackson. Jalen, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing now, really good now that you're on the squad. Feeling real good, real good.
No
Yeah,
doubt,
no,
no
feeling real
doubt.
good. But no, appreciate you hopping on, man. We're excited to get to know you a little bit, talk to you about your game, and talk to you about coming to Butler, man. So just diving right into it. Obviously, you had a great season at PFW, great couple seasons at PFW. What was kind of the transfer portal process like for you? I mean, you had a lot of great schools coming for you. What was it like for you, and then what kind of ultimately made you decide, hey, I'm going to be a Butler Bulldog?
So I just wanted to, take my talents, play at a higher level. I played mid-major for 3 years. I had a really good 2 years at PFW, like you said. I kind of just was ready to take that next step and, play at the highest level because that's what, everybody dreams of, and that's playing basketball in a really good conference like the Big East. So that's kind of what I was aiming for with, deciding to transfer or not, and then just going through the process. Definitely like having to, obviously I transferred my freshman year after like some coaching changing and stuff, and then, going through the process all over, I kind of already knew like what I wanted, and that was a school that, that really wanted me to go there, somewhere I could, grow on what I've already done last year and continue to, build. So, and I felt like, the coaching staff was very, very honest and upfront with me and very, very consistent with the communication. And so, being able to have the opportunity that they presented to me and basically run the show, be the leader, it's just what dragged me to go to Butler.
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah. Um, and then kind of talk to us a little bit about what you're going to bring to the Bulldogs for those of you who haven't seen Jalen play. Dude's a dominant guard, man. He averaged 19.2 points per game last season. Stepped up big time. So what can Butler fans expect from you in the Butler Bulldog uniform?
A lot of winning. I don't go places to lose, man, and I feel like I got a lot of experience to add on to the team. Like I gained experience from my freshman year losing, and now I had 2 years of basically back to back 20 win years. So I'm gonna bring winning experience and being an everyday guy and being a leader, and then everything else should follow suit if I take care of my business, which I promise I will. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then obviously, I have a soft spot for the Horizon. Being a Butler guy, we used to be Horizon school. Obviously, there's a big jump, right? Like you talked about, you're kind of excited to jump from the Horizon to the Big East, one of the premier conferences in college basketball. What maybe I mean, obviously, we know you're going to do great things, but what are kind of some of the challenges or things that you think you need to either work on or prove when you make that transition to the next level?
um, I mean, we already played some big time schools this year. We played Michigan, we played Penn State, we played UCF, and I feel like physically I'm ready for that. This year I didn't play a lot of point guard, but that's my natural position. So just I guess the challenge is just going to be learning everything, and but I'm excited for it, man. Like I don't run from any type of work or any challenge because that's what makes players great, and that's what I want to be. I want to be great, and Butler gave me that opportunity to be great, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. One last thing, then I'll hand it over to BFC. Obviously, I don't know if you got to catch some of the Crown, which, by the way, to everyone out there, the Crown, that was the greatest debacle I've ever seen in my life. It's so dysfunctional, and I love it. But Finley, Bizjack, you're going to be basically you two are the guards to go, right? You guys are going to be the dynamic duo up in the backcourt. So, what are you kind of looking forward to playing with Finley? He dropped his first 30-point performance yesterday. Made a big sophomore leap. I'm pretty excited to have you with your veteran presence with him. But what are you looking forward to playing with him?
I actually just was texting with him today. I'm gonna talk to him next Friday on my visit when I'm going down there. But he just we're on the same page, man. We want to win, and he wants to do it. So I'm excited, when you got a team full of people who want to win, and having a guy like him on the team too, it's gonna be fun. And I'm excited to get to work and get in the gym with him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it. BFC, what you got, man?
Yeah, so obviously, being an Indiana guy, I think you will be the third Indiana All-Star on this roster for the next year. Hopefully four. Shout out Xavier Booker if you're listening. But how does it feel to kind of, be on, one of the bigger schools in Indiana now, getting to kind of represent your state?
Um, like I always say, like it's cool to play in your hometown, because you got a lot of people who are gonna be able to come watch. There's a lot of people who know you from Indy, from Fort Wayne, all the kind of surrounding areas. So I'm excited, man. I'm ready. Like I said, man, I'm ready to get to work, man, and bring some wins for sure.
Absolutely. Kind of who do you think you model your game after? Who do you like to watch either college or in the pros?
Um, a lot of people tell me I got bits and pieces from like a bunch of different people. So like Malachi Brogdon who played in the NBA in Virginia. Jalen Brunson, say I got that too. But that's just I don't know. I don't really try to model my game after people. I don't know, but that's just kind of what I've been hearing. But I like to watch Kevin Durant. I think he's the most unguardable player ever. Uh, we can argue about it. I don't really care. Y'all, whoever's watching. You're gonna see my Twitter posted in the video. We can argue. Kevin Durant is the most unguardable player ever touched basketball.
I can't wait to see you and Jack McCaffrey have some conversations because that dude would die on LeBron. I mean, he's like LeBron James
Hey, I'm
to
not saying Kevin Durant is
I
the GOAT, but I'm saying Kevin Durant is the most unguardable player to ever touch
yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
But
yeah,
hey, if he wants to argue with me, we can, bro. I'm gonna stand behind Kevin Durant. So
Oh, that's awesome. And then kind of talking about, your journey through high school. I think one thing that, is really underrated is just even getting a, Division I scholarship. So what's kind of some advice for some high school players, trying to get that next step, trying to get noticed, and how to kind of stick out work ethic wise, kind of what helped you get to that level?
I didn't even get a D1 offer till like the summer of my junior AAU year. And that was kind of like when I first started the ball rolling was like my last AU tournament was Peach Jam, and that was 3 weeks long in July, and that's when I got my first Division 1 offer. And I feel like sometimes kids get so caught up in what their ranking is. What does Prep Hoops say about me? What does all these, national like sports writers say about me? But I came from a place where nothing's ever handed to you, and you got to work for everything you get. And that's where I developed such like a hard working mindset. Like I always go by a motto, just like get 1% better every day, because the small changes will lead to big things. And that's just kind of like my quote. You guys, anybody who I train at OPS, that's just kind of how I go about like you got to be dedicated to your craft and dedicated to the work, because at the end of the day, like you could be talented, but if there's someone outworking you, then what's the talent really doing for you? Because the talent only can get you so far. And for high schoolers, like I wish I knew that in high school and had the work ethic I had now, because I would have definitely put myself in a better position to be noticed and be recruited. Because when you focus on the process, you'll get the outcomes. But so many people, especially in high schoolers, man, they're all focused on the outcome and not the process. Because when you get so lost in the like what outcomes you want, you forget, what the process is and how you go about the process.
Awesome. And then, kind of one last thing, and I'll pass it back over. I think one thing that Butler has that really stands out is a staff that can hoop. I mean, Diebler, Barlow, Mojo, and McCaffrey all played high level Division I basketball, which obviously, as we've talked to guys, has helped in kind of workouts and just kind of training everything like that. What are you looking forward to improving in the off season as you get in with the new staff?
Really just a little bit of everything. Um, Obviously point guard reads. More consistency shooting. I think that just comes with more reps and building confidence. And the coaches already have a lot of confidence in me, and it's good to know that you got a support system, especially as coaches that are going to have a lot of confidence in you. So you get to play loose and play free. Um, Obviously my relationships with them, and just with the team, figuring out how to lead a group of guys and to win and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think, that's one thing as we've talked to guys that Thad loves to let his players shine, kind of let them get into a flow, let them make mistakes. So have you kind of watched any film on our lead guards the last couple years, or even back at Ohio State with you know Evan Turner and D'Angelo Russell, kind of that style of guard where Thad kind of gives you the reins? Was that really something that stood out to you?
Yeah, that's kind of something that really stood out to me when he recruited me. He was like, "Man, look," he's like, "I need you to when you come in here the first day, I need you to act like you're gonna run the show. Like we go with how our point guards go, and like I think I'm really good at creating off the bounce for myself or other people. And so I think with that opportunity he was presented with me and how he said the guards he had, like it's exciting to think about for sure.
No, man. So appreciate all that stuff. So kind of maybe just some like rapid fire fun stuff just to get to know you. What you're about and everything like that, right? So maybe obviously we all know that you're a basketball player. We know that. But what's maybe something some hobbies you have off the court that maybe people don't know about?
I like to bowl.
All right.
Yeah, I like bowling. I just got into it about like 2 months ago, so I like bowling. I like reading too, like the motivational books. I've been reading this book called Inner Excellence. I saw it when AJ Brown, who's on the yeah, he was reading it at halftime or during their game or whatever, and I saw it and I was like, it looks interesting, so I started reading it. I like to read the David Goggins books too because that gives you a different perspective on what your mindset should be, and what you tell yourself is what you believe. So I like reading those books too. I like going to church. I'm very good with my faith. I like hanging out with my family. I like hanging out with friends. I like playing video games, all that type of stuff, and obviously working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get that from AJ Brown? But you did. There you go. You already answered for me. But how about like let's go with maybe so you're from Fort are you from Fort Wayne? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm,
right.
I'm
Yeah,
from here. I'm from
yeah.
Fort Wayne a
That's
little
what I
bit.
thought. Yeah. So do you get down have you in your lifetime have you gone down to Indy much?
Yeah, AU tournament stuff. I played
Sure.
with the Indy Heat, so
Yeah. What so I asked that because so what's like your favorite food or restaurant places? Because obviously we have some great recommendations for you around Butler's campus.
Chipotle number one. That's
Yes,
all that
sir.
matters. Chipotle is number one. That's all that matters. My favorite place in India, to all the places I've been so far, was Bubba's. That place is amazing.
Yeah,
I love the pizza. I love the pizza. That's why I go there a lot. But nah, funny thing is, I used to always go to Indy and go to the Fever games when Tamika Catchings was on the Fever, and we would stay right downtown next to that like Colts restaurant, I think is what it is,
yeah,
at the Embassy Suites.
yeah,
My mom had like points there, so we would always go there when we were growing up, and then go to the mall downtown, and then we would go to Pacers games and all that when Paul George was on the Pacers.
yeah,
But
yeah. So there's a Chipotle right in Broadrupple, so you're good to go. It's a five.
yeah,
It's yeah,
yeah,
five
I'm gonna be there. Don't worry.
All right, yeah, sounds good.
Just had it today. Just had it today.
There we go, man. And then how about how about like what's kind of some music that either pumps you like let's say it's like before a game, pre-game stuff, or just stuff that you like to listen to in general.
Raw Wave.
Yeah,
That's number one.
yeah.
It's a big drop off after that. But I'm Raw Wave. I'm Raw Wave all the way. I'm Team Raw Wave. I probably the most minutes listened to Raw Wave out of anyone that tells you though, so don't listen to anybody else.
I'll hand it back to BFC because I know he wants to ask your favorite what.
Favorite pair of hoop shoes?
Yep.
Favorite pair? Probably the GT cuts. They're the most comfortable ones. And we had a pair for EYBL that matched my high school team. That was my favorite pair of shoes I've worn so far. Probably the GT cuts. Um, or some Kobe's. You can never go wrong with those.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
order.
that
Just
was
order.
the thing with going back to the Jack interview. He had the same answer actually, and he said he had to play a couple AAU events on the Under Armour circuit and was like I can't do that. I can't be doing that anymore. Uh, so obviously being an Indiana kid, what's your favorite high school arena that you got to play in?
Favorite high school arena? Hey, probably Southport, I think, or Brownsburg, one of the two. Southport or Brownsburg. So I like Southport's setup. We got to play there for Indiana All Stars. Yeah, I like that setup a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. That I mean, Southport's insane.
Yeah,
Southport
no
ice
doubt.
cream is ridiculous.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I was actually kind of diving into your Indiana All-Star team, which is pretty outrageous, especially at the guard spot. I think there's like 7 Power 5 starting guards now just out of your class. Um, so I would say kind of out of out of everybody that you played with, played against in high school, who do you think are the top three guys out of the state in the last couple of years, and not including yourself?
Out of the state. Dang. You gotta throw my boy Fletcher in there.
Yeah.
As my AU teammate. He was hooping. Like when we were at Peach Jam, he was hooping. And he's been having a really good year at Purdue. Obviously you got Braden. I mean, you can't say he's not top three. That's my dog. He was on our team too, but he didn't play
Yeah.
for Indiana All Stars. And then I think all my dogs are cold though. So like our whole team was nice, bro. Like, we had Ryan Conwell on our team, like
Yeah,
Tay
Yeah.
Davis, CJ Gunn, like
Yeah.
team was
Pete
ridiculous.
Pete Suter. Like our team was cold. Connery, CJ, like all of us were on the same team. So it's like hard to really put like a top three because
That's
our
Yeah,
squad
insane.
was cold, bro.
that was it. Was I was looking at? I was like, that team is
That's insane.
We didn't
Damn.
have a big. Oh, we had Jalen Washington. Never mind. We had a big, but he
Yeah.
didn't play. He didn't play though, so like we really didn't have a big.
You don't need a big with that lineup. Jeez.
Yeah, we had my
That-
boy Javen Buchanan was on the team too at Boise State,
yeah.
and that boy Travis, he was a clown too.
Oh, trust me, we
It
know
was a nice
Buchanan from
team.
yesterday.
if you
Yeah.
can 25 yesterday.
Yeah, 25. Yeah. Um, so BFC, you got anything else right there?
No, 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 take it.
So just a few Jen, just a few fan questions. Give me one second because we got it like in a bunch of different ways. Let's see here. Already asked about the Finley. I guess this is a question. Your sophomore year, you shot 41% from three. This year, 26%. Still, the average points per game increase. But do you view that more as like an outlier, or is that something you're looking to improve upon this year?
I was at 38 all year this year until I had like a meeting and I kind of just threw my confidence off of my coach because there's a lot of pressure on me
Yeah,
for like staying or leaving. I feel like there's just so much pressure.
yeah,
I know I'm a better shooter than my numbers. Obviously, there is definitely room for improvement, but I know I know that number will go up just because of the work I put in and the confidence I have in myself to improve.
love it, man, love it. And then um, you were named the Horizon League Sportsmanship Award winner. Um, I guess what is the importance of leadership to you, and how would you describe your type of leadership on and off the court?
Um, I think leadership is super important, but we kind of learned something this year that kind of like was super cool to find out because like you can have the real leader, but it's like the first follower, and that first follower is really like the spark plug to get everyone else involved. So I feel like that's always going to stick with me, and I feel like I want to implement that because if you have a leader and a first follower that back up something and they're working towards the same goal, then I feel like everything else falls in place with everybody else behind. So I feel like on the court, I feel like I'm a lead by example and by voice. I work hard. I'm an everyday guy. Like I don't ever want someone to say, "Oh, he's not working hard. He's not trying hard enough," because that's just not who I am. Like I live in the gym. I love being in the gym. So that's kind of the court and off the court. I feel like that's kind of why I won the sportsmanship award because I'm a community guy and I'm built off relationships. Because a wise man once told me that relationships win, and the more people you know, the better. Because that's just you're building relationships that could help you out in life. And I feel like just being out in the community is something I really enjoy doing and being impactful to young kids in the city of Fort Wayne. It's kind of what I've been doing my whole life. Like I've had two kids camps now. I've put in a lot of community service. I do like the small group stuff at my mom's high school, Northrop, where I used to go. Like a group of athletes, she has me do a small group with them every Friday, and just talk to them about, what separates athletes and what you have to sacrifice in order if you want to be great and all this other stuff. Just kind of like an athlete devotional, almost I'd say. So, like off the court, I just feel like setting a good example and being, you know, a role model for, the people who need it.
And you'll get a great opportunity down at Butler too, because with the NL Collective, All Good Dogs, a lot of that's based off of like community service type stuff. So yeah, man, I'd love to hear that. That's awesome. That'll translate well to some of the stuff. Because one of the big things I like about Butler too is, obviously NIL and everything like that. Love it, love it. You deserve everything you guys are getting. And then on top of that, you get to do some community stuff. So it's awesome. But I was looking through all the questions, man. I think we kind of like asked them as we were doing this stuff. So I was like, I'm not gonna make you repeat the same. Like it's talking about like we're playing with Finley and stuff like that. So it's all the same stuff. So if your question was in there, I just looked. There's probably like 6 of them that I just looked through, and they're all the same thing. So your questions were asked, guys. Your questions were asked. But BFC, you got anything else, man?
Just maybe one last thing, is because talking about the transfer portal, I think one really really good thing about the transfer portal is that guys that maybe were under recruited out of high school get the opportunity to prove it. Like obviously you did. I mean, averaging 20 in the Horizon League is massive, and obviously, I think maybe the most telling thing is having a monster game against Michigan, and then they're one of the big teams recruiting you. I think that tells that kind of says a lot. So what was kind of the feeling as you entered the portal and your recruitment was maybe a little bit different than out of high school, and you had Dusty May, you had Rick Barnes, you had Thad knocking at your door.
It was crazy. Obviously, like when I first put my name in, there was a lot of schools calling, a lot of schools following me. But I didn't want to get too. You don't want to get too head over heels for that type of stuff because essentially it is all about the best fit and what's best for you. And that's kind of why Butler is where I'm going. So um, I just I was definitely excited about the whole process, and I like to piggyback off kind of what you said about being under recruited. Like that's kind of how I've been my whole life. That's kind of what I went through in high school, and then I just now being able to have this opportunity. I feel like like you said, playing against Michigan, playing against Penn State, I had a career high and then posted another one, and then just kind of showed me that like I know I can play at this level on any given night against the best competition. Like shoot, Michigan State or Michigan was a Sweet 16 team, Elite Eight team. Like they should have been in the Final Four, but things happen, and I know I can play at this level. I just am blessed that Butler gave me the best opportunity to do it.
BFC, you got anything else, man?
No, I'm good.
No, all right. Yo, Jalen, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you hopping on here. Again, I know I speak on behalf of Butler Nation when I say I'm super excited. We're all super excited to have you at Butler next season. Just again, just really excited. I think you and Finley are going to be a great backcourt duo, and I liked all the answers. Bring some winning culture back to Butler and everything like that. So, again, man, appreciate you. And I always like to end these with a little go dogs.
Let's go, dogs, baby. Let's go.